Right, going live now. Morning, everybody. It's the 21st of April. We're Signal Centre. We're talking ball. I'm Joe Neighbour. I'm joined by Ian Coleman and Steve O'Hare. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
All good.
Enjoying
Good,
the
not bad.
free oil?
Yeah, I've got my barrel in the background.
Yeah.
It's an empty barrel. I'm going to take it across there.
Yeah,
fill
just
it up.
fill it up. Leave it in the garden.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll just sort of like throw it down the drain or whatever.
You might as well, might you?
Well, you can't, can you? Because it's oil. You can't just.
Oh yeah, you'll
dump it.
create those fatbergs in the sea. Is that what it is? Those giant fat things.
Yeah, that's it. So it's not just as easy as putting a plug in it.
No.
We look very worried then. We just saw her face appear as she
Chloe's face.
Yeah.
Am I on
Did
screen?
she look a bit grumpy? That's actually a picture of the younger Chloe behind you, E. That's what she used to look like as a kid, isn't it, Chloe? She looks
sure
so
that went down
scared.
well.
That's oil traders this morning.
I didn't see a slap go around your head there, Steve.
She was saving it.
It's coming.
She's saving it, yeah.
Okay, so interesting day yesterday. Historic day.
Massive,
for oil. Seen it go to negative. I doubt you two have ever seen that before in your trading.
Never
It's never happened before, no.
No.
What are you looking at us two? Because we've got a few years on you. Is
yeah,
that right?
just a few.
Yeah.
So very strange. The contract obviously in question that everybody's talking about is the May contract, which expires today, which is why it's gone at negative. If you look at most of the CFD providers, spread betting providers, ETFs, they're all trading and focusing on the June month, so the price is different.
$20, isn't it?
Yeah, so around about $20.
Yeah, so I think May was always a sort of like under pressure a little bit more, but I'm sort of jumping forward 4 weeks from now.
Same situation again?
Yeah,
probably not. No.
So
to break it down in. People might not know, when it comes to futures contracts, if you buy a futures contract at the end of the expiry, you get a phone call to say, right, where do you want this oil if you're long of it? So obviously no one's going to want to take physical delivery of it. And, that is actually what happens. So, clearly there's no demand and therefore you've seen the price collapse in the way that it has.
Yeah. And there's nowhere to store it as well. Obviously all the storage facilities are full. So that basically the guys who are still pumping the oil, who haven't stopped for whatever reason, are now paying people to take it. So if you physically have a big tanker, you could drive there and fill up and
so if I clear some room in the garage, can I get paid to store something?
Yeah, but then again, it's sort of like getting over to the US because it's obviously a US issue. So it's I don't know how long it'll take you to drive there, but I'm sure they'll welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, I'll row over there and row back with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, amazing sort of like never seen a night like it.
So yesterday we had some trades. Unfortunately, none of us were short of oil, but we did get short of equity indices. Myself and Ian, I went short of the DAX, and Ian went short of the S&P. Both of which actually were performing much better than where they closed at one point in the day, but still reasonable wins. 1.58 are for the DAX and 1.11 for the S&P. And there was a stop out for Steve on silver, which was on a bit of an intraday spike as well, wasn't it?
I think it was
risk rally.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking at it today. If it wasn't sort of like for the strength of the dollar, I think gold and silver would be a lot higher. So I'm sort of my sort of like negative view from yesterday has changed slightly. A little bit intraday. I'm more about maybe there's a potential for a little bit more of a move higher in gold and silver. But again, it's sort of like governed by what the dollar's doing. And the dollar's looking firm again.
Yeah, well, dash to safer havens, I guess, amid what we've seen. So the league table overall, not much change there. The overall P&L is still heading in the right direction, 75.82% since we started. And now we're 110 episodes in, so
I think
pretty decent. So has any of you got anything interesting you want to share with us this morning?
I don't mind waiting till last as
I'll have a go. Euro New Zealand I'm looking at this morning.
Buying it or selling it?
I'm selling it. Where am I?
I was long of that yesterday, but got stopped overnight on a bit of a pullback. That black candle there, you can see.
This one?
No, the one that's it. No. above the 50%. That one, sorry, the big one that spiked up to new highs and then retreated back. That one there.
Yeah. Basket. New Zealand support here, and euro dollar resistance here. So basically, euro to the downside, New Zealand dollar to the upside. Hopefully, we've got bespoke resistance here at 81.27. Got a 61.8% pullback here at 81.32, and I haven't got support until just under the previous low, which is down at 178.60. So it's offering quite decent R, especially because we've kept on talking and it's moving up. 180, 115. And we've got a DMARC 13 count on the 4-hour and the hourly, which is good enough for me. 180, 115, 60. 5R.
Oh, yeah.
I hope. That's me.
Cool. I'm going to continue looking at indices. I spoke yesterday about these head and shoulders top patterns that I've been noticing, and this is the one on the DAX, which sort of overshot a little bit on the 78.6, but eventually it seems to have worked, and we have traded lower. From a risk reward perspective, down to the neckline, which will be my sort of initial target. It doesn't look too bad. If we go there, 95 down to the neckline there, but 10, 170, 2.7. It's a similar picture on the FTSE and the CAC. CAC is underperforming by the looks of things. That's made a low below that low there we saw yesterday. So I am actually going to go with the FTSE 100 though, just because I think oil.
And because BP's in there.
Exactly. BP and Royal Dutch Shell are in there. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to sell it now at 56.77. The prices vary from broker to broker, but I'm just going to go with this chart here. It's a 56.76, stop loss at 57.30, and I'm going to target a move down to this swing low here we saw on the 16th, which is at 55.17, so just ahead of that, 55.20. So 2.95 R.
Good luck.
Let's see. Come on, Stevie, what you got?
Not a lot really. Just looking at the obviously gold and silver I just spoke about. The VIX is still trading at 45, so it's elevated slightly after yesterday's oil collapse. Dollars above the 100 level psychologically, that's good. So I'm just obviously going to go and sell oil today. Just wanted to highlight the longer term charts. Obviously we've got this descending wedge here, but over the last few weeks we are sort of like below the bottom of this ascending wedge. So that is a bit of an issue. And if we go back to 2002 prices, these are obviously futures contracts, so that you won't see the dip. But then 1999 it was down at $10. I think we're heading there. It's broken below this descending trend line, or reverse trend line, whatever you want to call it. Daily chart, obviously below the cloud, and it's very close to the lows of the 18th of March, and 4-hour chart and hourly chart all negative. So this, I'm just going to sell it at market. Again, remember this isn't. This may be impacted slightly by today's whatever's going on in the May deliverable. That's expires today.
2:30. Is it expire?
Yeah, I think it's 2:30. Is that UK time?
It might be US time actually.
Right.
Makes sense. So that'd be what on the close for us, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So it's around 6:30, is it, or something like that?
Well, sorry, equity close 4:30 probably.
Right. Okay. And
I know.
yeah, I think it's just I can't
sorry, the 9
see.
o'clock close.
Right. I can't see it not sort of progressing to the depths that we've seen. So May started the day yesterday around $10, and then during the day, obviously, it went at one point to negative $40. So I'm not saying that's definitely where we're going, but there's going to be severe pressure on next month's deliverable because it's not cash settled like a lot of the contracts are nowadays. So I'm going to get short at 21.15 target. Well, it's set up at 3-1. I might as well stick to that. It's target of 18.15, not for any reason, just because it's a number. And I'll put my stop at 22.15 because it's a nice 3-1 risk reward like that. So I might just do this for the rest of the month, just sort of like whatever oil's trading at 2:45
Just do a 3-1
to 9
short.
o'clock, just do a 3-1 short and see how many pay off.
We don't need, what, you need 33% break even?
Yeah, I only need to get it right, sort of like, yeah, I reckon even if I get it right,
Maybe
5 days out of the next 20 working days.
That'd be better than what your normal one is.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, just started. Well, you know, there is analysis tied to it in some respects, especially I think if we break this 2044 level,
all sorts of bother.
Yeah, I think the $20 level psychological. Once we're sort of like clearly through there and close below it, we're going lower.
Okay.
So
cool. Lovely. News-wise, anybody seen anything other than the oil stuff that they think's worth mentioning?
Nothing. I mean, obviously, when oil prices start to hit these sort of levels, normally there's a war as a result. So
we're already at war, aren't we?
Yeah, but that's
coronavirus.
Yeah, but I think it's obviously you've got Trump in charge, and he's obviously trying to blame China for the pandemic and saying that they did it on purpose or whatever, and wants compensation which he won't get without a fight. So it looks a bit gloomy.
Did you see that
John
is I was going to say that.
Not well, isn't he?
They were pinning some of the equity move yesterday on the fact that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was gravely ill after receiving treatment for a heart condition. So I guess the concern is that they don't know who's going to come in next and what sort of a lunatic he's going to be.
Oh, I also saw Trump saying that Korea have got to pay more for US soldiers to be there.
South Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wants more money out of them to sort of subsidise
the
oil market.
Yeah. News out of Europe yesterday from the German Bundesbank has stated that a quick and robust economic recovery is unlikely, and the bank also suggests that restrictions are likely to remain substantial until there is a medical solution and a vaccine is available for coronavirus. So that was a pretty gloomy outlook as well. The Bank of England Deputy Governor Broadbent stated that the coronavirus crisis is unlike normal cyclical downturns. And he also said that it's very material and expects that there will be a strong bounce back. I think that's probably more optimistic than maybe what will happen, but none of us know, I guess. And according to Prime Minister Johnson yesterday, the principal concern is to avoid a second coronavirus peak, and therefore the government will be very cautious in easing the lockdown restrictions in the UK. And that did impact sterling yesterday and continues to do so today by the looks of things. As it looks as though we may be behind Europe on that basis in sort of turning the tide.
Yeah.
Data-wise today, German ZEW at 10 o'clock, we're looking for a number of a minus 58.8 versus minus 49.5, which we saw last month. And also we have existing home sales in the US, and they're forecast to fall by 12.6%. Anything else to add?
Did you say ZEW? Were you talking about
ZEW?
Yeah.
That's out in a few minutes, isn't it?
UK employment's been out already this morning, isn't it?
How did that look? I haven't seen the numbers.
It's quite robust.
Okay.
Is
there a lag on that, or it just came in better than expected?
I think that maybe it's just due to the fact that everybody's
furloughed.
getting this furloughed. Yeah.
So they've not actually registered as an unemployed person.
Exactly. Then. Yeah. Unemployment rate is at 4%. It was last at 3.9.
Okay. Not bad at all then, really.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, apart from that, I don't think there's a lot more.
Okay, let's wrap it up then, shall we?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Have
Lovely.
a good day, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy.
Cheers.
Catch you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.